Okay, so I'm going to invite you to come to kneeling or a cross-legged position or any comfortable start of your choosing. You can sit on the feet, between the feet, whatever you want to do. Wrap yourself pretzel shape, whatever you want, as long as you're comfortable to get started. So we'll just start by settling in, tuning into the body, and we're going to take a mudra. So we often start class in this way. This is a way of inviting energy. And in particular, this one is prana mudra, so inviting vital energy. Okay, so if we're feeling a little bit sluggish or tired, or if the day's been a bit busy, this is a lovely way of just giving ourselves a bit of a boost. And it's around sort of each of the fingertips are around different elements. So we've got the earth, the fire, and the water element. So we're going to bring the thumb, which is fire, representing Agni, to Jala, which is our pinky finger, which represents water, and then Prithvi, which is the earth element, which is our ring finger. So bring thumb and last two fingertips together. Peace fingers wriggling around, nice and free. Drop the palms into the lap, soften the shoulders, and just lengthen those sit bones down into the earth below. Palms roll up comfortably, elbows hang to the waist. No need to hold on to any tension in the chest here, or the belly even. Just allow ourselves to settle and sink in to the floor. And just start to press the crown up a little, so drawing a little bit of extra length through the sides of the waist, but nothing too effortful. And then with the eyes closed, the jaw relaxed, we're just going to bring the attention to the body. First of all, so perhaps you approach the body through the contact points, through the earth, bringing that into your awareness. Maybe you start to notice the weight of the clothes as they brush against the skin. Maybe you start to notice the temperature of the air that surrounds you. Perhaps you notice the warmth as the air flows out of the nose over the upper lip. Perhaps you start to notice knots and creases and kinks in the body. See if you can just observe without judgment, and we'll check in at the end of class to see how much better we feel. As you breathe in, imagine expanding downwards through the earth and a little bit of apana vayu, so downward moving energy. As you exhale, imagine the spine lengthening, which might seem counterintuitive, but imagine that upward moving energy as you breathe out. Downward flow on the breath in, upward flow on the breath out. So inviting both the yang and the yin, those complementary opposing forces, even here in the body and the breath. And then inviting in an intention for our practice, whatever it might be it meeting ourselves exactly where we are, celebrating quietly what we can do. Maybe it's just having this opportunity to be present in the body and the breath for the next hour or so. Keep it simple. And then as we're ready, bring the palms to press in front of the heart center, bow the chin towards the heart, soften the shoulders, draw the belly lightly in as we lengthen tailbone towards the floor. And then inhale, roll the head all the way up, flutter those eyes to open, and we're straight in. So if you're not kneeling already, I invite you to come to kneeling now, padding up those knees on a blanket or towel. So bring that sort of the blanket sort of across the width of your mat, so horizontally. Stepping the knees on board, and we're going to start with the heels together, sitting against, we can lift the weight a little bit, but just gently pressing down against the heels as the feet sort of roll together. And from here we're going to rise up out of our seat, send the palms straight up into space, lengthen tailbone towards the backs of the knees, reach through the wrists, extend through the fingertips, then from here we're going to tuck the right toes under. Press down into the sole of the foot, stretching out the toes. Now from here, as we breathe out, we're going to twist from the waist over towards the right hand side, pulling the belly in, opening the palms broadly. Imagine touching the walls with fingertips side to side. And then from here, see if we can reverse. So bring the right palm to the right heel, or the tips of the fingertips down towards the heel. It doesn't matter if they don't touch. At the same time, extend the left palm straight up. Keep lengthening tailbone, drawing belly up and in. Looking over that right shoulder with those right toes tucked under. Good. Take a deep breath here. Lengthen. As we exhale, draw the pelvic floor up and in. Bring the right palm back up. Palms are parallel. We're going to rest against the top of the right foot now. And then tuck those left toes under. Lengthen and lift. Take a deep breath in. Press down through the shins. Exhale, twist from the waist, reaching arms wide. Toes tucked under, and gently reverse as we inhale. Tap those fingertips towards left heel. Right wrist lifts. Lengthen tailbone. Look over that back shoulder. Use the opportunity to gently move the hips forwards. Inhale to lift. Exhale, engage the core muscles. Send left palm straight up, drawing back through center. And one more time each side, this time moving with breath. So coming onto the top of the left foot. Inhale to lengthen through the fingertips. Tuck the right toes, exhale, open towards the right. Press down through those right toes, wall to wall, reaching through the fingertips. Inhale through center, flip onto the top of the right foot, tuck the left toes under, twist from the waist, open on the exhale. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, open the elbows and lift the chest. Take a gentle back bend again. Use the opportunity to move the hips forwards gently. Supporting the spine by pulling the belly in. Then as we exhale, send the palms behind, interlace up towards the knuckles if you can, or hook thumbs. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, fingertips lengthen down the backs of the thighs, just past the tailbone. Then as we exhale, pull the belly in, bring the shoulders above the hip level, hips move back towards the heels, reaching forward through the chest and onto the crown as we lift the thumbs or the fingertips straight up to space, pressing against the crown of the head. Hips come off the heels here. Gentle pressure through the crown of the head. Neck remains long. And then as we exhale, just release hips towards heels and allow the palms to rest alongside the hips and turn the head in one direction as we allow the shoulders to sort of fall towards the earth and relax fully here. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, turn the head to the opposite wall and rest back down. Hips sink a little deeper towards the heels. Good, then as we're ready, inhale to lift up. We're going to swing the palms out towards the front, rise the shoulders above those wrists, spread the fingertips, step the knees to hip width. Toes are tucked under, and from here we'll just take some cat-cow tilts to move the fluids in and around the spine. So from here, drop the navel, lift the chest, move the shoulder blades back, lift the tail, inhale deeply. Nice straight arms, although not completely hyperextending into the elbows, maybe a tiny soft bend in the elbow creases here. As we exhale, shift the hips back, rounding out the spine. You can come onto fingertips or stay on the palms, pulling the chin towards the chest and pressing the floor away. Toes still tucked under, so we're earthing through the feet. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, shoulders move away from the ears, tailbone lifts, shift the weight forwards. Exhale, shifting hips back, hollow out the spine, chin towards chest, press the floor away. Twice more, inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, flowing back from the tailbone, hollow out the spine, chin towards chest, press the floor away. Inhale to a neutral spine and bring the head up as we slide the right toes down the bottom end of the mat. Tuck those right toes under. Bring that right shoulder above the right wrist as we send the left palm straight out and the palm faces across the mat from here. Square off the hips, so draw belly in, lengthen tailbone towards the back of the room and come onto the top of that left foot if you can. Shift the weight forwards a little and pick up the right heel as we reach through fingertips and press through the right foot, drawing length sort of across in a sort of diagonal from the fingertips across the back of the shoulders and down through the right heel. Holding here. Then from this position with the belly pulled in, the spine nice and straight, neck in one line with the crown here, we're just going to gently pulse the heels gently backwards from 10. So from here, 10, 9, 8. Fingertips can lift 2, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there, press through heel, lengthen through fingertips, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, tap the toes back down, bring the left palm to rest. Just rocking and rolling backwards and forwards, stretching through the calf muscles. Just 5 of those. 4, 3, 2, 1. Press back through the right heel, bring those shoulders behind the wrist here. Hollow out the spine as we pull the left knee in towards the belly. Round the spine, gently draw back the left toes and gently step the left foot between the palms of the hands, lowering onto that right knee. Left knee is above left ankle, send the palms straight up into space. Scoop the pelvis and lift, pressing down through right shin, so the hip is above the knee here in a straight line down. Left knee above the ankle, palms rise, facing in towards center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, open the elbows, lift the chest and move the hips forward so that left knee presses forwards, and take a gentle back bend here as we squeeze the shoulder blades gently in towards center at the mid-back. Good. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, flowing forwards, frame that left foot, we're going to step back and drop back onto the knees as we then lower onto left elbow level with the right crease of the wrist. So left elbow level with the right wrist. Fingertips still spread broadly, tuck those right toes under, slide the foot down the mat. From here, we're going to roll open the hip, engage the belly muscles, look over the right shoulder and pick up the right heel till you can look over the shoulder and see the toes and the foot extended out behind you. From this position, as we breathe out, we're going to gently hollow out the spine, bring the right knee all the way around to tap against the tricep. Maybe you lower your gaze to allow the neck to be soft. And so we're bringing the knee in towards the tricep as we inhale, straighten out, press through the heel, look over the shoulder and open broadly the chest here. Exhale, gently rounding, bring the right knee all the way in towards the tricep, hollow out the back. Again, inhale to press, draw back the toes and lift, looking over that right shoulder, breathing deeply. Then last time, exhale, bring right knee all the way and hollow out the spine, gently tap. And then from here, we're just going to circle the right knee. So we're going to bring the right knee in towards center, come onto the palm of the left hand, and then move that right knee back in a circle, moving anti-clockwise. So just gently, 3 circles. Hips nice and open. And then reversing back the other way. Moving hips clockwise, gently moving. Good, and then from here we're going to draw the right knee in alongside left knee, come back into our neutral position with the knees hip width apart, and we're going to repeat on the other side. So slide those left toes down the mat, okay, square off the hips, belly cinches in, shoulders over wrists. From here, pick up the left heel, keep the belly engaged, the right palm reaches forward and faces across the mat, and from this position we're going to gently pulse from 10 to 0, so as we're ready, flipping onto the top of the right foot if that's more comfortable, but draw the heel through center. From here, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there, lift it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower right palm to the floor, tuck those toes back under, press the floor away, bring those shoulders behind the wrists a little. As we gather up the right knee in towards the abdomen, gaze back towards the thighs, draw back the right toes and then gently step the right foot between the palms, lowering softly onto that left knee. Right knee over right ankle, send the palms straight up into space. Root down through that left shin, lengthen through the quadriceps at the front here. Inhale to lengthen. Maybe you flip onto the top of that back foot. Then as we exhale, press the knee forward, move those hips in a straight line towards the front of the room. As we open up the elbows, lift the chest, and take a gentle back bend here. Good. Inhale to lengthen, pull the knee back so it's above the ankle. Inhale to lengthen here. Exhale, flowing forwards, frame the foot, tuck those back toes under, pick up back knee. Then we're going to step it back. And then from this position, we're going to lower back onto the knees and bring that right elbow level with the left wrist, okay? Right shoulder over right elbow, left shoulder over left wrist. Okay, so from here, slide those left toes back down the mat, turn out on those left toes and start to lengthen the tailbone towards that back heel. Lengthen from crown to tail, so pick up the left toes, lift, lift, lift until you can see the toes, look over that back shoulder. Then as we exhale, we're going to bring that left knee in towards the triceps. It doesn't matter if they don't touch. Hollow out the spine, gaze between the thighs. Inhale to lengthen. Press with the heel against an imaginary wall behind you. 3 more. Exhale, rounding. Gently pull the knee in. Hollow out the back. Inhale, open and lift. Look over the shoulder. Exhale, twice more. Bring elbow to knee. Work towards. Inhale to lengthen, open and twist. Last time. Exhale, elbow to knee. Hollow out the spine. Draw the left knee through center. Come back onto right palm, bringing it back level with the left. Circle the knee in a clockwise direction, moving from the hip. Really slowly here. So you can take some small circles or some larger ones, and then reversing back the other way. Just mobilizing those hips. Good, encouraging some movement. Good, and then step that left knee alongside right as we're ready. And from here, walk the palms forwards, push the floor away, arms and ears in line. Hips go high, sink through the heels, big toes spin in, heels spin apart. Give the tailbone a little bit of a wiggle. Crown is long. Then as we're ready, we're going to pedal out the heel. So lift and lengthen through one heel, then the other heel. Good. Then as you're ready, start to slow down the breath. If we're feeling a little bit heated here, just start to slow it down. Hips go high, sink through the heels, look forwards, and then we're going to gently climb towards the front of the mat. As we arrive at the front of the mat, we're going to keep the knees softly bent and bring the palms to the shins for a halfway lift. Broaden out the shoulders, heart is lifted, tailbone lifts towards the back of the room. From this position, we're going to sweep the palms wide, palms face down, shoulders roll back, press through the feet. Rise up as we root through the feet, bring the palms back in through center. Lengthen through the fingertips, and then from here, we're going to come into some Masati, so prayer position, palms in front of the heart. Grab yourself a quick drink. I'm going to move into a standing bit. Lovely. Okay, so starting at the front of the mat into Tadasana. So here is where we root ourselves through the feet. We press down through the feet and we feel that sort of rebound sensation up through the legs as we gently lift through the kneecaps, gently activate and firm the quadriceps, the fronts of the thighs, gently lift the buttocks as we lengthen the tailbone and draw the belly in. Okay, shoulders over hips, fingertips dangling alongside the hips here also. Crown of the head lifts and shoulders nice and spacious. From this position, we're going to sweep the palms wide. So nice big circle through the hands, reaching up. As we exhale, we're going to open the elbows, lift the chest and bend into the right knee. So bend into the right knee, keeping left leg relatively straight. Exhale. Inhale, keep the right knee bent as we reach the palms straight up. Draw those hips back over those heels. And then bring the palms to press in front of the heart center as we then send that right knee in towards the elbows, so up towards the elbows. Send the hips back. As the heart comes forwards, resting against the palms of the hands, we're going to step the right foot all the way towards the back of the mat. Press through right heel, scoop and lift. And as you lift, lift the palms straight up. High crescent, inhale to lengthen, reaching up and back. Keep pressing down through both feet. Tailbone lengthening, belly drawn in. Then from here, we're going to turn out on the back foot. So turn out on the back foot, cross the wrists, press using the muscles of the thigh, press into that left knee to open it over the ankle as we open into a warrior two. Shoulders nice and soft here. So imagine drawing the ground up through the feet. Okay, strengthen the legs and thighs as we send the fingertips wall to wall and the shoulders away from the ears. You can make this stronger by really strengthening through the fingertips and strengthening the arms, or you can keep the elbows a little bit softer, shoulders more relaxed, whatever mood you're feeling, okay? So looking down, the front heel should be lined up with the back arch of the foot, and we just keep working that left hip to open as best we can as we zip the sides of the waist up, draw belly in, and hold ourselves strong here. From this position, we're going to drop the right palm behind us, down the thighs, and the left palm into space, reverse warrior. Keep the feet and legs as they are, just moving the top half. Then as we exhale, we're going to unwind, frame that front foot, and from here we're going to step the left foot back. Now you have the option to drop to the knees here, or if you're feeling really strong, you can stay in a high plank pose, and we're going to do some shoulder touches. So knees up or down, okay? Engage the core muscles, lift up on the pelvic floor, left palm to right shoulder for 1. I'm going to count alternate ones. So each time I count, we're tapping left shoulder to right shoulder. 3, 4, 5. From here, we can shift forwards and flip the toes onto the tops of the feet, or from the knees, we move the chest through the gates of the arms, bend at the elbows and sweep through into a baby cobra, lengthening through crown, compressing evenly the spine from crown to tail as the shoulders draw back and the elbows hug in towards the waist. Roll the heels in towards centre. Imagine pressing through all of the toenails at once if you can. Then as we exhale, tuck the toes and we're going to reverse. So engage the core muscles, so a gentle scoop and lift, okay? Press through the palms, shift the hips straight up, sink back through the heels. Then from here we're going to step the left foot forwards once more. Left knee over left ankle. Bring the fingertips either side of that left foot, lift the chest like a galloping horse. Okay, you can drop onto that back knee, otherwise keep that back knee lifted. And from here we're going to step to join the right foot to the left at the front of the mat. In one movement, keep the knees bent. Inhale, bring the palms to the shins, halfway lift, shoulders broad. Exhale, sweep the palms wide, engage the belly as we reach all the way up through the fingertips. Lengthen tailbone, Samasthati, palms to press in front of the heart centre. Ready to repeat on the other side. So as we're ready, tall mountain. So outside edges of the feet parallel, feet are hip width as you gaze down, okay? So drawing the floor up through those feet, climbing the vines of those legs all the way up the body, engaging the core, lengthen the tail, shoulders stacked above hips, crown is lifted, chin is parallel to the floor, okay? From here we're going to sweep the palms all the way in a big circle, palms roll in, inhale to lengthen. As we exhale, open the elbows, bend into both knees, and then lift the left heel a little bit higher, inhale. From here, lengthen the tailbone as we exhale, send the palms into space, but keep that left knee bent. Inhale, draw the palms in front of the heart centre, open the elbows wide. As we exhale, draw the left knee in towards the chest or the belly, and then start to send the heart forwards as the hips go back. A momentary balance in a sort of semi-warrior 3 as we glide the left heel back and step back with control. Scoop and lift, and as we lift, we inhale deeply, right knee bent over right ankle. Inhale to reach up. Good, then as we're ready, we're going to exhale, cross at those wrists, turn out on the back foot, use the muscles of that right thigh and the hip to open broadly, so the front heel lines up with the back arch, float the palms into opposite directions, gaze out over those front fingertips, scoop the tailbone, again open up that right hip using those muscles, and then from here we hold our warrior 2 nice and strong. Good. And again, you can activate strongly through the arms, make this stronger, channeling that strength, that vital life. Or you can just soften gently, more peaceful warrior. Then from here, left palm slides down the back thigh, right palm turns and lifts. Hold the bottom half as it is, but reverse the upper half, reaching long through the wrists, reaching fingertips into space and left palm down the thigh. Look up towards the hands if that's okay on the neck. Then as we exhale, we're going to unwind, pick up the back heel, frame that right foot, and then from here we're going to step back, ready for our shoulder touches, knees up or down. So as you're ready, step right foot back, drop to the knees with the shoulders forwards with the hips forwards of the knees, or zip the thighs together, belly muscles deeply engaged, and from this time we're going to go right hand to left shoulder. So as we're ready, counting alternate ones. 5, 4, 3, 1. Shifting the weight forward, you can flip onto the tops of the feet or come into the knees. Move the chest through, bend at the elbows, shoulders lifted, knees, chest and chin. And then sliding and gliding forwards into our baby cobra. Shoulders roll up and away from the ears. Elbows press to the waist as we peel the head and chest from the floor. And roll those heels in towards centre and feel that low back strengthening. Inhale. As we exhale, tuck the toes. We're going to reverse, pick up those hips, sink back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Maybe climb those feet a little closer to the hands and see if you can make that upside down V shape. So hips go high, sink down for the heels. Doesn't matter if the heels don't reach the floor. And keep those arms and those ears in one nice long line and the gaze towards the mat or between the thighs if that feels more comfortable, or maybe even towards the navel. And from here, inhale to look forwards. We're going to step the left foot between the palms of the hands, and from here we're going to take a gentle inversion. So stepping the left foot between the palms, we're going to walk the palms off towards the right hand side. Bring the toes in. The heels will spread apart. I'm going to bring the hands to the hips here. Shoulders roll up and back, elbows pressed together as if tied by a band at the back here. Press through the heels, soften through the knees, engage the belly muscles to become all the way up. Good, and then from here, we're going to sweep the palms all the way straight up, palms roll in, lengthen through the fingertips. And then as we're ready, we're going to lengthen forwards from here, so press through the heels, activating from the inner arches all the way into the groin and the inner line of the legs. Exhale, flowing forwards from here, so hips go back, heart comes forwards, engage the core, back is working really hard as we lengthen through the fingertips, and you can keep the head level with the shoulders. Or if you're happy with inversions, if you don't mind bringing the head below the heart, if you've got no issues with blood pressure, then just gently lower the palms to the floor if you can. And then as you press the sit bones back, as you angle the belly towards the back of the room, you can slowly start to dip the crown towards the earth. And then gently adjust the feet. If you can, rest the crown against the earth. Otherwise, you can keep the hands at the hips and lift the head a little bit higher, but keep the belly engaged from here. Palms rest against the floor, level with the inner arches of the feet if possible. And the elbows point straight back as the shoulders broaden towards the back at the centre. Holding here. Maybe shifting the weight into the heels. Maybe you can lift the toes to ensure that you're bringing that weight back into the heels. And then maybe you shift the weight forwards into the toes. Maybe the crown dips a little bit lower. And then somewhere in your centre, just between your forwards and your back, you'll find that midpoint, that central point, that neutral point. And then bring the left palm towards the centre of your feet, between the feet, and twisting from the waist but trying to keep the back as straight as you can. Lift the right palm straight up. Maybe you come onto the fingertips, maybe you walk that palm forwards and just look over that right shoulder, taking Parvita. Good. Holding here. Parvita Paratanasana. Belly turns towards the side of the room, draw the side waist in, point the tailbone back, and then exhale through centre, bring the palms together, and then we're going to twist towards the other side, so keep the back nice and flat, lift through the left fingertips, try not to sort of open the hips, keep the back really flat, working from the waist, reaching the left fingertips straight up, rolling left shoulder back, holding here. Good. And then as we're ready, exhale to release back through centre. From here, we're going to just turn the heels in. Then the toes come in, so heel, toe the feet all the way in towards centre. And we're going to gently sit down from here. So come into a sort of squat between the feet. And we're just going to take a little balance before we come into our yin half of class. So sitting with the knees either side of you, we're going to hook the toes with our peace fingers. Engage the belly muscles and walk the heels in towards you. Sit nice and tall, sides of the waist nice and long, belly is engaged. And then gently find your sit bones and see if you can rock back and find your balance with the feet above the floor. Maybe you try one heel, maybe you try the other heel, or maybe you can do both heels together. Okay. From here, we're going to start to open up that right foot. Maybe we bring it back and then open up the left foot. Maybe we try again and we go a little bit longer. Bring it in, extend the opposite leg out. Just working our way up. Engage the core, make sure you've got room behind you to roll back if you need to. Good. And then see if you can go for both feet. So open, use those open hips now. Maybe you stay in a balanced happy baby. Maybe you lengthen through the heels, lift the chest, and find your balance here. Maybe you're supporting behind the knees, okay? Whatever works. So holding, lengthening the sides, pull the belly in, chest is lifted, crown is long. Good, and then as we exhale, we're going to see if we can cross that right ankle in front of left, and then gently set the feet down as we get ready for our yin half of class. So take another drink as we start to cool things off. So hopefully just enough movement. And now we're going to cool and soothe and restore. Good. So I invite you to sit on the edge of a cushion. Have maybe your blocks, if you have those nearby. Reach for those. And your bolsters and your extra soft furnishings within easy reach. Spare blanket. Sitting on a cushion. Good. And then from here, we're going to come into a deeper hip opener. So we've kind of been prepping the hips all this while. And we're going to see if we can kind of stretch those out a little bit more and lengthen, sort of stretch out the lower body as well as bring ourselves into the upper body, opening up the chest, stretching out the shoulders, just a whole body stretch really. So from here, with that right ankle, it can be in front of the left one, and you can sit on the edge of your cushion, okay? And it might be that you just choose to fold forwards from here. So you could bring in your pillows and cushions and just rest the forearms out front, palms roll up, or you can bring your palms to the floor and just gently work into that right hip, okay? But if you'd like to give yourselves a bit more of a challenge, and remember in our yin class it's very easy to overstretch, so we want to find and explore that mildest edge. If you can feel a sensation like you're stretching, you're in the right place, but it shouldn't be too strong and it certainly shouldn't be painful, so modify for your body. So option one is to bring one shin in front of the other, draw back the toes and fold the body forwards from here, okay? Then soften everything, because that's the sort of message of our yin classes, that we then come into softening. Option two is to extend left leg out front and cross the right leg up and over. And see if you can walk the right heel in towards the outside of the hip on that left hand side, so that when you look down, the knees are almost stacked, okay? Now here is where you might want an extra blanket, okay? And you can slide that between the bony part of the ankles, prop it up against the knee, and fold forward from here, softening through the toes, okay? But for an even more deep stretch for the hips, I invite you to try a square pose, and here you'll definitely want your blanket and probably a brick too. So from this position, what you will do is you'll bring both legs to cross. So like option one, only what you'll do instead is you'll stack the right ankle behind and on top of that left knee. You'll look down and you'll walk the left foot forwards. So as you look down from that right knee, you can see the left ankle below. Drawing all the toes back. This is where it starts to feel a little bit ouch. So underneath that right ankle, you'll want to slide a blanket. So slide that underneath the ankle, toes pulled back to begin with, just to set up. Sitting on the edge of our blanket to keep that sort of hips angled forward, scooping out the flesh as well to sort of get a bit more earthing through the sit bones. Then in this gap between the right knee and the left ankle, you can bring your brick in, okay, and on any setting, okay, so just to rest the knee against. Then from this position, what you'll do is you'll soften the toes, and you should feel this really quite deeply in that right hip. That's the top hip, okay. And then from this position, if you've got some extra blankets, pillows, cushions, you can rest those over the thighs, like so, okay, and just bring yourself to rest here, stack the fists, or what you might choose to do is walk the palms out front to the side, but you'll certainly want to rest the shoulders away, you'll want to soften the eyes, and just bring yourself into the sensation of the stretch in the hips, keeping the whole body soft. Now the reason we pop a brick underneath the knee is so that we don't sort of torque the knee at all, so we don't twist it or cause any problems for the knee. So we gently rest it, but you'll still feel quite a strong stretch. We're going to spend a couple or so minutes in this side, and then we'll switch to the other side and go through those options again, but slightly more quickly the second time. So from here, as you're ready, setting yourself up, so one chin in front of the other, one leg extended, knees stacked, folding forwards, or taking this square-like position, toes draw back to begin, then softening everything. Fingers rest wherever is comfortable, so create stability and support for the body. And then gently close your eyes, maybe you allow the head to sort of drop towards the thighs, the chin might fall towards the chest, shoulders stay soft and relaxed. Relax the jaw and just moving your awareness into the hips, experiencing that connection with the earth below. And allow the body just to settle into stillness. And when the body is still, we start to observe the breath. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Whole muscles of the face relaxed, no particular expression demanded of you here. Free to just create space with time. Final minute and soften even more. Where can you do less? Just know that you have the tools and the knowledge to explore your edge safely. Just listening to your body's feedback. If you need to come out sooner, then do, but move slowly. Allow those deeper layers of the core to start to soften. Final 30 seconds. Shoulders relax. Breath is soft yet rhythmical. Heart rate is slowed. Nervous system gradually begins to ramp down. And then slowly, as you're ready, final 10 seconds, but there is still no rush. Just start to come onto the fingertips. Gently press through those fingertips, roll those shoulders away from the ears, pull the belly in. Gently ragdoll your way by rolling yourself back up. The head is the last thing to come to balance. Maybe just give the head a little bit of a shake, the neck a little bit of a roll out. And then we're going to prepare to move into the other side. So as you're ready, just remove your props. Give yourself a helping hand. Step the feet apart. Maybe you take a moment just to windscreen wipe the knees from side to side. Maybe there's a little bit of clicking. Then maybe it stops. Hopefully it does. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So same as before, we might just bring that left ankle in front of the right. Shin far away from that other heel that's drawn in towards the body. Draw back the front toes. And you can go straight in from here, just keeping that the left hip open as you support the body on pillows, cushions, bolsters, whatever you have at home, or bring the palms to the floor. Option 1. Option 2 is to slide that right leg out front, step the left leg up and over and across so you can see the knees, and then bring that left heel into the outside the hip or the thigh, working those knees to stacked. And again, you can always use a blanket to pad up any bony parts, soften through the toes and fold forwards from here. Slightly different experience though, more working the hamstrings and the hips, but whatever you feel like doing. And then option 3 is to do what we did before, which is start with option 1. Then walk both shins away. We'll bring left ankle behind and on top of right knee. All the toes draw back. Left knee is stacked over left ankle. We slide our blanket into the bony part for support. And then bring our block or our brick or our cushion to press between the knee and the ankle on that side. Sit bones nicely rooted through the earth. And then from this position, we bring the body forward. So we bring the belly towards the thighs, heart comes forward, shoulders slide off the back, fingertips resting. Maybe you've got pillows, you can bring the forearms to rest against. And then when you're ready, soften the toes. You should still be able to feel quite a strong sensation in that left hip this time as you bring the body gently, gradually forwards until you start to feel something in that hip. And when you feel it, just stay there, be with the sensations, just play with that edge a little bit, gently lean in. If the body settles, if the body relaxes, then perhaps you can release a little bit more deeply. But if it starts to kind of feel a little bit spiky or uncomfortable, then just keep the body more upright, adjust to one of the other postures, and then find some stillness. So close the eyes, shoulders relax, maybe chin drops towards the chest, maybe body comes forwards a little bit more, maybe you're on flat palms, maybe you're on forearms, but everything is soft. Minimal effort here. Replacing your efforts from the first half with a welcome sense of ease. And then with the eyes closed, just bring your attention to those sensations in the hips and in the body. Steady and quiet the breath. Allow your body to just melt. Sit bones sink deep down into the ground, as if to grow their own roots, winding down towards the center of the earth, holding us fast. So with this gentle compression of the vital organs around the abdomen, we're stimulating quite a few of those energy lines. So we've got the urinary bladder, the spleen, the liver, all of those. And they can be sort of associated with kind of internal heat or agony, as it's sometimes referred to, and that can sort of manifest as sort of irritability, short-temperedness, impatience, or a general sense of malaise and sluggishness if sort of repressed. So the idea behind this one, as well as becoming more emotionally even, shall we say, we restore that equilibrium to the energy as well. Bringing back a sense of homeostasis to the body. We start to dismantle this need for external approval, and we start to recognize within ourselves this intrinsic value that we each hold. Final 30 seconds here. And by now perhaps the joints are starting to feel really quite warm. There's a sense of a release flooding through the bottom half of the body. Maybe there's a little bit of tension building up in the upper half, and we'll correct that shortly. But for now, perhaps a little bit of warmth just radiating in that lower half, all the way down to our toes, from our hips, from our thighs. And start to deepen the breath here. As we then gently come onto the fingertips, so just lifting the head and chest, and then gently sort of rolling ourselves all the way back up. Take your time, no rush. And then as we're ready, just gently dismantling, removing those props from underneath, give ourselves a helping hand. And from here we're going to come into a dragonfly pose, and I invite you to set yourself up a little yoga ramp, because we're going to use that for what comes next as well. So a little bit of pre-preparation. So I invite you to bring your blanket across, sort of horizontally across your mat. and that's for you to sit upon. And then we're going to bring in some cushions, or we're going to use our bricks, so you can stack one on the highest setting, furthest away from you, one on its mid setting, and then using the stickiness of your mat, you kind of create a little bit of sort of friction there to hold them in place, or you can just separate them. You might just choose to bring in a meditation cushion and then pass your bolsters or your pillows over the top of those. But when you set it up, make sure it's reasonably steady, and it's going to hold the weight of your bolster. Okay. Bring a bolster over the top of that. You want to test it for its sturdiness before you lean in. And then from here, we're just going to turn and face our yoga ramp. Prop up the hips, our sit bones on a cushion or a rolled up, folded up blanket. You can come higher than this, it's whatever feels good for you. But just gives those sit bones somewhere to rest, and it sort of helps that anterior tilt of the pelvis. We walk the feet either side of the ramp, and you might yet still bring in some extra pillows and cushions, okay? And then from here, you might even rest the belly against. As we soften through the toes and just bring the weight forwards, maybe you hug your pillows, keep the knees softly bent. If the knees play you up at all, you can always roll up a towel or the edge of your mat or your blanket underneath the knees. If you've got a spare cushion, that could work also. So we don't sort of hyperextend anything around the knee joint. But just fold the body forwards. Just allow your heart to rest here. The arms can drape to the mat, or just rest comfortably however feels right. And then just allow yourself to just lay your weight forwards, allow gravity to have your head here, close your eyes. You might rest against the forehead or turn the head from one side or the other side. Keep the shoulders soft, arms soft, and pour yourself like liquid over your mat, over your pillows. Close your eyes, relax your jaw, soften the toes, and just release. So this is a beautiful posture again to stimulate the urinary bladder, that kind of need for external approval again that we talked about just slowly starts to fade. This one is like a giant, great big hug to ourselves. As we spread the legs wide and allow the heart to rest. This also helps to restore what we refer to as kidney jing, connected to our prana mudra from the start of our session. Kidney jing is believed to be, in traditional Chinese medicine, our source of life, our life essence. So the idea being that sort of taking regular forward folds like this one helps to restore balance in the kidneys where the jing is stored. And then we are able to top ourselves up so that we don't become so depleted that we expire. The idea being if we run out of jing, we just, that's it, we've run out. So it's a beautiful go-to posture for when we're feeling depleted, when we're experiencing fatigue. It's a beautiful way of restoring vitality to the energy. Keep the shoulders relaxed, the heart soft, the breath steady. And perhaps about now you might like to start counting the breath a little, so you might draw a slow breath count of 3 in, drawing it deep into the belly, that diaphragmatic breath. Great if you like singing, and even if you don't, it helps to restore the nervous system. Then as you breathe out through the nose, maybe you extend the exhale to a count of 4, maybe longer, depending on your own capacity. But keep the body rested, whole body soft, as we approach our final minute here. Maybe you turn your head, if your head is one way, you lift it and turn it the other way. Just to allow the neck to rest on both sides. Maybe you're able to remove some additional props and dive a little deeper. If the body starts to yield or soften, perhaps you are able to explore a little more space. Relax the backs of the knees. Allow the heels to soften into the earth, appreciating exactly where we are in our bodies. Savouring the sensations, enjoying the journey without any particular attachment to the destination. And then as we're ready, we're going to slowly start to climb out. So we're going to slide the palms towards the body, gently engage and lift the core to support the back. Maybe even bring the palms to any sort of fragile spots of the spine and support those muscles as you gently lift. And come to sitting, relaxing through the backs of the knees. And again, you might just draw the knees in using the hands and just gently sweep the knees from side to side. You might slowly give the legs a little bit of a wriggle. And then from here I invite you to bring and swing your legs up and over and turn away from your yoga ramp. And from here I invite you to come into a supine goddess pose. And if you have got a strap at home, or if your room where you're practicing is a bit cool, as we do tend to lose heat in our yin practice, it is a downward cooling practice. So if you are a little bit cool where you are, what you might choose to do is swaddle the feet. So you can bring a blanket underneath the feet, bring the soles of the feet together. You might choose to bring your knees, your bent knees, onto spare cushion, like so, and walk the heels a little closer in as you lie back against your yoga ramp. If you'd like to use your strap here, quite a good use of your strap is to turn it into a very big belt-like shape. And we can use it for a little bit of extra support for the back, but also to help a little bit more of the hip opening. So what you do is you bring your belt up and over the body. So it's supporting across the back of the kidneys here. So it's not twisted, so make sure it's flat against the kidneys. And then from here, we'll take the other end of the belt up and over the outside of the feet. Use what's left of the tail of your strap to pull the strap tighter. Readjust it so it's supporting the low back a little more. And then as you sort of gently scoop the feet in towards the body, they should be held quite comfortably in place. And again, using pillows underneath the knees, maybe swaddle the feet just to make this even more restful. Tucking yourself in and then just gently lay back. Now the knees to rest open, the palms to roll out. You might even bring the arms up and overhead if you've got enough of a pillow or a support to rest the wrists against. Otherwise, just walk the palms wide. Allow the shoulders to fall towards the earth, so we're countering beautifully that sort of rounding of the postures before. So one posture sort of building on the one before. So softening the shoulders, lay back, open the heart, open the chest. Just allow ourselves to become a little more realigned to our greatest good as we close the eyes and bring our attention inside. And we call this pratyahara. Here we can protect the senses, bathe the eyes in darkness, and just pause here to breathe. Just feel this beautiful connection of the body with the support below. Start to feel all the muscles gently loosen and ungrip as you gently soften to the bone. Start to allow a sense of optimism and lightness to travel into the heart. As we unburden ourselves, we practice forgiveness. As we open ourselves up to new beginnings, new opportunities, with each breath a chance to start again. And then start to allow the mind to settle slowly into silence, moving closer towards our essential nature, towards a sense of unbound consciousness. Observe the breath. Invite yourself to stillness. Cultivate gratitude for the body. Return. Journey slowly into the deeper layers of yourself. Bringing your attention to the sensations within the muscles, the joints. Perhaps you start to feel a heightened awareness of the physiological processes of the body. Moving closer and closer to a sense of contentment in this space, in this present moment. Free from the lure of the past and the pull of tomorrow. In this present space, the future, the past have no bearing, have no power. Just enjoy marinating in stillness a while. Deadlines, commitments, pressing matters, to-do lists just slowly fade. And as they do, creating space for rest and renewal. And then from this position, I invite you to very slowly, should you choose to come out of the pose, unless you like it and you want to stay, just gently press through the palms, just perhaps lift the body up. If you are using a belt, maybe you sort of free yourself of it, move it off to one side, or maybe you tie your ankles together, that can feel quite nice, or the thighs even. But it might be that rather than sliding all the way down onto your mat for your Shavasana, you kind of don't move too far at all and use your pillows behind you just to slowly move into a Shavasana. So what you might choose to do is slide the feet down the mat. You might choose to walk the feet wide and rest the knees together and lay back from here. Okay. You might choose to walk the feet all the way down. You could swaddle the feet. Or maybe your blanket that was under you might just gently be unrolled and rests over you as you lie back. Walk the feet wide, allow the toes to spin apart, make sure the back is beautifully supported and comfortable, no uncomfortable sort of arches in the low spine, make sure you're fully supported here. If you happen to have another pillow, or you can easily roll up a towel or have something like a rolled up towel nearby, bringing that underneath the head into the space above the shoulders can just help you to bring the chin in towards the chest. And again, the arms sprawl wide, the shoulders soften against the pillows below, heart is gently lifted, the jaw, the face completely relaxed, backs of the knees soft, the calves soft, the whole body soft. And as you get yourself comfortable, I'm just going to dim the lights my end. Ready for Shavasana. So even as you practice our Shavasana, sometimes it can be very difficult as the mind is still quite prone to wander. What we'll discover over time and with practice is that this regular return to this beautiful space, the sanctuary of rest, is that as we learn better to steady and still the body, slowly the mind is able to follow suit. By stilling the body, we can at least begin to quiet the mind. So just clearing your space, physical space, emotional space, mind space, bringing your attention and your full intention to this present task, this sacred moment of healing, settling in, body stretched, mind relaxed. So allow those limiting beliefs to just flow away. Clamoring agitations melt, giving ourselves permission to stop striving, to stop doing, to stop ruminating, catastrophizing, and simply be. Surrendering fully to what is as we enter the realm of being. Perhaps you feel a wave of stillness arise within. An unfathomable sense of peace. And that peace within, you begin to experience a joy. And within joy, there is love. So allowing ourselves to consider this idea that bondage and liberation are of the mind alone. The ultimate act of strength and power is surrender. So allow yourself to sit with your successes, sit with your abilities, sit with your heart more fully open to all that you can do. Our yoga practice, really a reflection of our lives. As we close our eyes, we venture into our souls and we look deeply inside. All just walking each other home. In this journey of growth. And just allow yourself to consider the depth of the asana practice, so the posture practice is really not as important as the knowledge of how to approach them at a personal level. So even here, in this position in your Shavasana, this posture uniquely expressed through your body as never before. So viewing ourselves honestly and beautifully in the place that we are in. Grateful for this body, this day. And as you're ready, inviting back in your intention, if you set one, for the start of your practice. And gently checking in with the physical body. Noticing how the body feels now. And then maybe just lifting and moving your attention to the heart, checking in with those emotions. And then just allowing your attention to rise to that point between the brow, checking in with your thoughts. Are they positive? Remembering that beautiful thoughts build a beautiful soul. And then as you're ready, gently taking that last stretch, allow the body to lead you, to show you the way. Maybe the palms reach up and overhead, maybe you point the toes and stretch yourself to your tallest height. Maybe you reach for opposite shoulders, give yourself a hug. Slide the palms up and over the knees, or hug the thighs, the shins to the chest, and just roll around. Good. On the back, a massage. And then gently finding your way onto your side. Left or right, doesn't matter. And then gently pressing yourself back up. Just allow the head to be heavy. Gently press through the palms and roll yourself all the way back up to a comfortable seat. We bring the palms to press at the heart center and bow the head. And Jali Mudra, mudra of reverence. The light in me bows to the light in you. Palms in front of the forehead for loving thoughts, the heart for loving intentions, and the lips for loving communications clearly and purely expressed. Thank you so much for your Yang&Yin. I hope you feel wonderful. I can't wait to see you next time, Sun Business Thursday. Good night. Namaste.